I don't know, I like pretty things as a Libra. Visualization and social media, they just go so hand in hand, and I just for many years have bought into the social media fantasy. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be 5 ways to not buy into the social media lies from a minimalist perspective or minimalist guide. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go! Woo! A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. If you wish to help out my channel, consider checking out my Patreon, and if not, then just help me out with the algorithm by giving this video a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. Speaking of subscriptions, I want to say thank you everybody. We have reached 800 subscribers. Wow, that's insane. I feel like I was just here yesterday saying thank you everybody for 700. We are now 800 strong, 800 little Cobras in the Cobra's nest. So I even updated my little paper here. I've crossed out the 7, I have put the 8. I can't believe it. Once I reach 1K, I will be eligible for monetization. So if you want to push this video along, and if you want to help this channel out, spread the Cobra's nest so we can reach 1K and I can get monetized, and making these videos won't be so painful because I'm broke. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because social media is a big driver in my life, especially because I'm a content creator, and I don't know, I like pretty things as a Libra. Visualization and social media, they just go so hand in hand, and I just for many years have bought into the social media fantasy. I want to start off the first point by saying, is it all a lie? The short answer is yes. It's all curated. I think it wasn't until I got really into actually making content for a purpose, spreading minimalism and helping educate people and providing tips and tricks for people along in their minimalism lifestyle. But before that, what I saw on social media, I believe to be true. And I mean, to a certain extent, it is, but it's curated. So is it a lie? Yes and no. But the short answer is yes. It isn't truly what you see in real life, especially if you've actually made content. You know that a lot of stuff that is put out, you edit it, and you edit it a lot, and you're picky and choosy. A lot of us want to portray a certain type of aesthetic, whether it be for our own pride, for monetary reasons. There's a whole bunch of reasons as to why people curate things the way that they do. We're a lot careful about the kind of content that we put out, whether it doesn't paint us in a good light, or we're trying to put a certain message out or curate certain things. But one of the things that really helped me a lot with comparing myself with what I saw on social media was realizing that it's not exactly a reflection of reality. It's kind of like a distorted or altered version of reality. And that has really helped me a lot, because for me, one of the things that really distorted me was seeing certain body aesthetics on the internet and thinking that that was attainable in healthy or natural ways, but it wasn't. A lot of it's photoshopped. And it wasn't until I got more into social media that I realized that I don't need to be comparing my body to what I see on social media, because it's the people who post those pictures don't even look like the pictures that they post. All right, and number 2, toxic comparisons. So toxic comparisons. In my minimalism journey, one of the better things that came along was I stopped comparing myself to others. With minimalism, I realized that, what I have and what's mine is enough, and I really don't need to be comparing to others. I don't need to also have what others have in order to feel satisfied with myself. Sometimes that's how some of us use social media, as kind of like a tool or a measuring stick to compare ourselves against our peers. But I don't think that's a really healthy thing to be doing. I don't think that comparing yourself, whether it be up or down, is a healthy thing to do, because in the long term, comparisons are endless, and where does it stop? What do you really get out of it? I think maybe, yeah, we feel a little bit good, but I think most of the times we usually feel a little bit bad. And at the core of it, I realized that comparing myself just wasn't serving me in any real tangible way. I compared myself to somebody else. Yeah, okay, so what? I'm fighting against people on the internet. Am I really winning? So I just decided that I didn't want to compare myself anymore. And I think that that's one of the tips that I can share, from a minimalist perspective, is that just comparing yourself in general is just the thief of all joy. Whether it be comparing yourself to people in real life or on social media, it's just waste of time and a waste of energy, and I think we're better off doing something else with our time than comparing ourselves to strangers on the internet. All right, number 3, educate yourself. I wouldn't have known all of these things about social media and what goes on behind the curtains unless I actually did research about it and read into it, watched videos on YouTube. There's countless videos out there of people talk about it. They do those videos where they take the pictures of social influencers and then they show them before their Photoshop. They show a lot of editing errors. So when you start to watch these videos, you start to realize that a lot of it is just a changed or altered version of reality, and you wouldn't have known that unless you did research, because I highly doubt, although some social influencers do videos where they show you how I Photoshop my face and how I catfish with this makeup and how I this and how I that. So some of them are transparent, but the thing is, most people won't tell you that. They're trying to sell you a fantasy, trying to sell you entertainment. Like at the end of the day, they are just entertainers. So we have to understand what is their primary goal. It isn't to educate you, but it's to entertain you. So just like we understand that what you see on television, you know, reality TV and all, and even Discovery channels, it's edited. Everything that you see is edited. It's not exactly reality as it is. And even reality itself is distorted through our own personal perspective and our own personal lens. We all have our own cognitive biases. The same event is remembered differently by different people. For myself, as I became more educated about what goes on behind the curtain with social media, distangle my self-worth from social media and thinking, you know what, like that person is more worthwhile because they have more followers and more subscribers. There's also dark sides to social media. Some social influencers are really depressed and really lonely, and there's a void that can't be filled with followers and likes. Take everything that you see online with a grain of salt, and let's just educate ourselves. All right, number 4, it's not all as it seems. I remember one time I was watching this one video, an influencer was talking about one pic where she was like hanging off of a train or something like that, or I don't know, she was on vacay, and in the picture she looked super happy, but she was explaining that that day she had a terrible day and it was just a really bad day, but she still had to get on camera and pose and pretend as if everything was fine. And that it's just a reminder that not everything is as it seems. And I too am on this camera, and I have to put on a certain type of persona and a certain type of aesthetic that I think will help my audience. I'm not saying I'm lying to you guys, but let's just put it this way. If I got here on camera looking like a hot mess all the time and all I did was whine and complain about my life, would you guys really want to keep watching me? Although maybe there's an audience for that. I'm not risking it. I think what I got going on is working just fine. So what I'm trying to say is that not everything is as it seems. And I think that if we think about our own lives, not just like social media, but just like media in general, we all know that what we see on TV is not as it seems. Like at least I think we all know that. I don't want to speak for most people, but I understand that what I see on television isn't real. And YouTube is also a mini TV in some ways. Yes, the people we see on the internet are, you know, normal people and not actors, but I will tell you, as a content creator, we're creating content. Although somebody may seem really happy, they may not be happy. And just like some of those apology videos by social influencers where they're crying and they're sorry, the camera turns off, they wipe off their tears, and they're like, good job, everybody. All right, number 5. Focus on your journey offline and online. This is a good minimalism tip. I think minimalism, I can't speak for everybody, but as I became more minimalistic, I became more heavily reliant on digital media because I had less tangible things in my real life. So I kind of moved into the digital realm because I felt like life was easier that way. It was less cluttersome. I didn't have to deal with like material possessions the way that I did with more traditional media, like books and stuff like that. One of the dangers was I started to kind of truly live within like the digital world, and I started to lose myself, and I started to really feel like the real me existed on the internet. And it was just such a slippery slope because I don't think that really is reality. I think reality still needs to be lived offline. So that is an advice I can give as a minimalist, especially because I used my minimalism to live deeper in the internet. My biggest pride and joy was my YouTube channel, which was like my minimalism channel, and as long as I didn't have material possessions, but my YouTube channel was a success, I had value, and it's just such a dangerous way to live. I think that it's important for us to live our lives offline and to find value in living offline. And yes, you have permission from me, the practical minimalist, that you can have material things in your life. You don't have to only live in the digital realm. I remember an extreme case where I just started like accumulating and living my best life in Animal Crossing because I couldn't do that in real life, or I wasn't giving myself permission to live like that in real life. Like, I can't have accessories and I can't have like house decor and I can't this and I can't that, but in Animal Crossing I can. When it's like, why? Minimalism is not just to like not have nothing and then just live in the digital world. So what I mean to say is, if you find yourself living more or living more for your digital life, try to strike a balance and find ways to be happy in your real life so you don't become so heavily reliant on your social media as your best life. Okay, so we have come to the end of the video. These are 5 ways to stop buying into the social media lies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!